Fair use. Get fucked. It's finally over. But was it satisfying? No. This final episode, like the majority of the season, has been the weakest of all seasons by far. Wasting time with stupid ass and dick jokes. There's plenty in this finale, don't you worry about that. Every episode in season 5 has been full of retcons, completely on-the-nose Trump satire, spin-off propaganda. They've spent way too much time on pointless scenes, and it all accumulates here. This is one of, if not the most rushed, low-impact final episode of a show that I've ever seen. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy some things here. The Boys has been one of my favourite shows very early on. I can't force myself to watch some of the god-awful series that has been airing recently. But The Boys was great. I'm not naive. The warning signs have all been there, and I fully expected this kind of a shit show when the finale hit, as did a lot of people. But this is next level bad. We open the episode at Frenchie's funeral, and Huey gives a eulogy not about friendship or anything heartfelt, but how Frenchie has seen all their assholes.
The knowledge that I've seen each and every one of your assholes.
Because, you know, they had to hit their weekly quota of ass and dick jokes. We see a propaganda advert for Homelander. Why does he look like such a bozo here? What? Ryan is watching this from whatever country he's in, and Homelander shows up, but Ryan is having none of it. The boys are now with the Gen V soups. We see Emma for 1 second, literally. Why were these characters even involved? Just pointless shit again and again. We see Ashley and Father, and she's bought him this titanium ball gag that will stop him spitting it out when she does gross shit to him. This is actually one of the only funny times they use gross humor in this show. It does pay off somewhat later, but she's trying to read his mind and ascertain how he feels about Homelander, but she clearly doesn't want to be caught. Back with the boys, they decide to try to get Kimiko angry, so Sister Sage talks shit about her and Frenchie. She blasts her with her newfound Soldier Boy power and removes all of her powers.
I'm fucking stupid like you guys.
You always were. As quick as we can, Kimiko has the powers. Let's get on with it. No time to waste explaining. We've got arsehole scenes to shoot.
Never my wildest that I think you'd be this good.
Yeah, nobody did. Homelander is giving a speech at the White House, so that's when they plan to go ambush him. It's not like he wouldn't be guarding the area or anything, you know. It's at this point where Sage does us all a massive favor and fucks off. We cut to Homelander, and they've introduced a character who's a billionaire with like loads of kids, an obvious Elon Musk parody, because we desperately needed this in the finale. Nothing like millionaires telling you how much they hate billionaires. The Deep is actually good in this scene. He's the only funny character in this show and has been for fucking ages.
I have never had less respect for anyone in my life.
That's funny. I kind of respect him more than you at this point. There are actually some good lines from Homelander here, but at this point, none of it is convincing. Everything is feeling so rushed. We cut back to the boys and they waltz in right off the street like it's nothing. Homelander gives a speech where he professes to be the Lord. The boys are trapped in some kind of locked room. They are shot at with multiple guns, and somehow the non-soups don't even get touched. I'm sure they'll subvert this and they won't escape by some coincidence. Homelander continues his speech, and some of this is a clear parody of things Trump was saying before the election. Fucking lame again. Ashley decides to run from the Secret Service and, oh, what a coincidence, saves the boys. They stumble across the Deep, who's crying like a bitch, and in a really predictable scene, Starlight flies him to a beach, blasts him into the water, and then an octopus kills him. This is kind of fitting, I guess. It just feels like nothing. Huey is fighting Oh Father. He goes to blast him with his voice, but then MM shoves the ball gag in his mouth and his head explodes. We cut back to Homelander giving the speech, and he goes off script. In a moment where he's thinking of Soldier Boy, he basically snaps and threatens everybody. If people don't bow down to him, then he's just going to kill everyone. Again, this does nothing for me. They haven't built any of this up. It just happens in a moment because they need to tick a box. Again, this is good from Anthony Starr. His acting is always great, but why couldn't we have this kind of build-up for the last 7 fucking episodes? Some of the actual best scenes and lines, threatening lines from Homelander for like 10 minutes in the last episode. Why did they think this would impact people or convince anybody? We now get our final confrontation between Butcher and Homelander. Butcher just breaks through the wall. Out of nowhere, there's like one person guarding the office. They stroll in and immediately Homelander lasers Butcher and Kimiko. Homelander seems to overpower them, but as he goes to fly away, Ryan shows up and stops him. Kimiko can't use her blast, but then a vision of Frenchie appears to her, and she's then inspired to do so. She manages to depower everybody, but Butcher and Homelander are the only two awake. Now depowered, Homelander is obviously a complete pussy. He gets the shit beat out of him like you'd expect. He snivels and begs Butcher, says he'll do what he wants, he'll even suck his dick or eat shit or whatever he wants.
I'll fucking suck your dick, please. You want me to eat shit? I'll eat your fucking shit.
Alright bud, let's calm down. Butcher then kills him with a crowbar. At least they gave a nod to the comics here. This wasn't a terrible way for Homelander to go out, and this is probably what most people guessed would happen. This is what I thought would happen. But again, I'm just feeling nothing at this point. There's no impact. I'm just glad this shit is done with. We then skip forward a tiny bit and they are covering up everything that happened with Homelander. Ashley is now installed as the president, but then she's impeached. This is actually a slight jab at Kamala Harris, so I'm not even mad. At least they did something different with their political satire for once. Butcher talks to Ryan. Ryan clearly still doesn't want to be around him in any way, tells him he's not a good person. Butcher then goes to check on Terra, but he's dead for some reason. This seems to make him go somewhat insane. A pretty weak reason if you ask me. Butcher takes the virus and is heading to the Vought Tower. Huey sees this and follows him. He confronts him and wants to talk to him. We are shown that instantly out of nowhere, he has a way to spread the virus worldwide. Again, we couldn't possibly fit that in there with all the important scenes this season. Butcher tells him that there will always be a next Homelander and they have to end Soups, and he's not exactly wrong. Huey tries to reason with him but pulls a gun. Huey gets disarmed. He fights back somewhat but is getting fucked up by Butcher. Butcher is about to pull the trigger on the virus, and for a brief second he seems like he's not going to, but then he's shot by Huey. This is a nice heartwarming scene, an excellent scene by Carl Urban. This is probably the best acting you're going to see in this the whole season long. Butcher then dies. We skip forward some time. They are eulogizing him at his grave. Kimiko and MM end up walking away. Ryan leaves with MM for some reason. Huey and Annie talk about how they're going to the Topless Steakhouse for Butcher. Piano Man plays, of course it does. I expected this, obviously. And Huey and Starlight leave. We then get a time-lapse montage with MM back with his family, Kimiko in France. Huey is offered a job by Robert Singer but refuses. He would essentially just be the new Butcher. We see that he's opened up a audio tech store and Starlight is pregnant. For some weird reason they've called the baby Robin. We see a report for a crime being committed somewhere and Starlight flies off to go and help, and the whole thing ends. This was not good. It felt so rushed and like everything was crammed into this one episode because they couldn't think to write important scenes throughout the season, build anything throughout the season, convince you of anything throughout the season. But we absolutely needed all the Soldier Boy scenes that went nowhere, all the stupid gratuitous scenes that are pointless to any of the story. We get to watch Homelander be a fucking idiot the entire series and still end up getting everything he wants until the last moment. He actually snaps and goes crazy for 10 minutes in the final episode. By the time this was all over, I genuinely could not give a fuck about anything that actually happened. Completely forced, rushed, and overall meaningless. Thank God this shit is over. Oh, wait.